Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hello friends, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. As always, mate, welcome back to Chelsea News. In today's video, we will be reflecting on an article, an exclusive, from some geezer called Steve K on football transfers regarding Antonio Rudiger return to Chelsea. What? Yeah, take it up with Steve. We'll react to that. Also, I'm going to cite some pieces of information from Kieran Gil of The Mail. Mail Plus, some Chelsea Confidential, all your questions answered. I will be getting these answers from at the Blue Dodger on X. For reference, guys, welcome on back. I hope you're feeling good. Chelsea playing the Conference League tonight at time of recording. I will be reacting to that result straight after the game. Thank you as always for your support here on Football Therapy. You're welcome to subscribe if you want to. Hit the bell. Thank you for liking. Obviously, Arsenal eliminated from the Champions League last night. If you have any interest in watching me wear a beret and dissect their Champions League exit, do check out the second channel, which is of course Football Yannick, where I upload multiple daily videos on non-Chelsea content, because there's a lot of football stories out there. A link in the top of the description for that channel, or just search Football Yannick. Right then, let's get into it, shall we? So we're going to start off with these questions answered from Kieran Gil of The Mail. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a broad church of questions, and some of them are really positive, and some stuff we probably already know. First of all, a recurring story that a lot of people had their stomachs turned at was this idea that Cole Palmer might be plucked from Chelsea because there's so many clauses in Chelsea contracts, certainly in terms of incentive wage-based stuff, yana. But there was a vicious, nasty, dirty rumour that there was a Champions League clause in Cole Palmer's contract, so that if we're not in the Champions League, someone can buy him for 150 million or something like that. But this does not exist. Kieran Gil has pretty much confirmed. He says there's no clause. He's staying at Chelsea. He's safe. He's locked down. Not only was he on a long contract, but he's of course recently extended on improved terms. There's scope to even improve them even more as he gets older, and hopefully gets better and wins Premier League titles and Champions League titles and all the stuff we hope for in the future. Of course, Moises Caicedo is also in for a contract extension. By the way, I think in my previous video, I said I wasn't sure if Jackson had got I was always thinking Noni. Jackson and Palmer both have extensions. Caicedo's next in line. We'll see what happens with the likes of Noni and Dem Man. A little update that Robert Sanchez has been carrying a minor injury, but of course has been playing in Chelsea's important Premier League matches, because I kind of understand now that he is the better choice of the two, of him and Jorgensen. Wait till the end of the season, guys. We'll do a full debrief on my opinion on Sanchez, but he would have to just become amazing for me to even consider him as Chelsea goalkeeper next season. But these stories are that Chelsea's aren't going to buy a goalkeeper. And for me, personally, that means Georgi Petrovic is Chelsea's number one next season. Yeah? And Kieran Gil does go on to speak about this. Chelsea are currently not searching for a new goalkeeper signing. They feel they have enough talent in the building with Sanchez, Jorgensen, Penders and Petrovic. Now, Sanchez has said if he's not Chelsea number one, he'll want to go elsewhere. Fine, I'm totally okay with that as well. Personally, I think we should send Jorgensen to Strasbourg and then bring Petrovic back as Chelsea goalkeeper. And I'd actually be quite keen to see Mike Penders as Chelsea's backup straight away. He's 20 years old now. He's got a really high ceiling, although of course everyone's speculating maybe he should go to Strasbourg and benefit from a really good loan opportunity there. Let's move on. Okay, so nice bit of fun here. He was asked who's the best trainer at Chelsea, like who trains the best. A lot of people might have their own guesses and speculations. But he says this: the player whose name I heard pop up most when this topic has been broached is, drum roll please, Cole Palmer. Yeah, he may look like a luxury player on the pitch, but he doesn't shirk the work in training apparently, and he has produced the best data during a 6-month physical test in February, which just shows you he is the guy, he's the star. Look at that PSG team last night that knocked out Arsenal. Flair, talent, attacking brilliance, intelligence, everything you want on the pitch, but hard working. Palmer, I mean, we forget that the way Palmer and Gallagher used to press for Pochettino was incredible. He of course, if you might follow Palmer's PT on Instagram, it's a good account to follow. You get to see him filming Cole, and there's some funny stuff on there. He's a really good trainer. So he's not just some floaty. He's the opposite of Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard was God's gift to Chelsea, but Hazard was notoriously and famously an awful trainer. He'd literally just walk around with his laces untied. He used to play Mario Kart on one of the Nintendo handhelds in the dressing room before the games, but he just did his thing and was just the joyful guy. By all accounts, Cole Palmer is an incredible trainer. A little bit more, of course, on the stadium. Kieran Gil essentially reiterating what we've heard from multiple different sources in the media elsewhere, that essentially they're not aligned. They are, there's no... I need to sneeze, one sec. Oh, man, my face just exploded. Should have not paused the recording so you could have heard the shotgun of my sneeze. Yeah, they need to get all the man in the room. You got Hans-Jörg Wyss outside Stamford Bridge doing interviews saying to Chelsea fans, CFC Fan TV or Chelsea Fans Channel, I forget the name, saying that no one is leading the project. I think everyone's staying quiet because Chelsea are doing well. They want to reach targets, Champions League, Conference League trophy. But then they need to sit in a room and sort themselves out, because this is embarrassing. It's schoolyard stuff, if you ask me, man. This is a nice piece of news, huh? We spoke about him yesterday. Marc Guiu is expected to stick around, even if Chelsea sign a striker. He is seen as a good backup option, particularly if others pick up injuries. And of course, this season, Jackson and Guiu got injured and we were left with a disinterested Nkunku. I like it. I mean, I feel... many of you guys were talking about it in the comments. One of you said give him a championship loan. I actually think that would be great. I think he starts for a championship club. I don't think he needs to be... I think he's fine with the physicality, but he could score a lot of goals. To be honest, he could be loaned to a promoted club. Although maybe not, because you'd want him to be in a dominant side in the league so he could score a lot of chances. So maybe not. I don't know. Although what might be best for him would be a Strasbourg loan, and they might even play Champions League next season, which would be insane, an incredible thing for him. But it would kind of be nice to keep him around because he seems good. He's got the streets at Chelsea, isn't he? So I quite like the idea of keeping Marc Guiu around. All right, we're just going to reel off the last couple here. Chelsea Academy centre-backs. Chelsea quietly turned down a big bid from Bayern Munich for Levi Colwill last summer. Which is interesting, because I know before he signed and joined up with Pochettino and crew, loads of clubs were in for him. Liverpool, Klopp was on the blower to him. Levi Colwill in football is so highly rated. That would have been a nice chunk of pure profit. So, of course, if Bayern come in and say, look, Bayern say to Chelsea, can we sign Levi Colwill for £60 million? 60 million quid for pure profit is an incredible... I'm pulling that figure out of my behind, by the way, so just saying. But they see him as a rising star for the future and have high hopes for him, so they're not always totally tempted by pure profit. Unless your name is Trevoh Chalobah. Any final comment from this before we speak about Rudiger? I haven't heard that the stance has changed on Trevoh Chalobah, who could also be available for sale despite his improving performances. You gotta feel bad for Trev because he's a good player. Yeah. I heard Matt Law on the London is Blue podcast say he's always Chelsea's best defender every season as he comes back. He has to fight his way back into the team. I think Fofana's our best defender, personally. But I think Trevoh is very, very good. I think he's very good at reaching his ceiling and standards, which is really great. He's a leader. He loves Chelsea. he's like a good kid. He's a God-fearing, like, good guy. Not that I'm religious, but, like, you know, I know he's a good dude. Do you know what I mean? And I've got absolutely no issue with Trevoh Chalobah sticking around. I don't see Trevoh as, like, a Galactico ceiling player. And that's, you know, and, like, I'm not criticising him. I think he's awesome. If he stays, great. If he stays a starting Chelsea centre-back, that means he's good. It means he's good and he's great, and I'm totally here for it. I'm not trying to sell him. But stylistically, preference-wise, like, I do prefer a Fofana over a Trevoh Chalobah. But the thing is with Trev, he's always available. And, I mean, if he didn't come from the academy, it's the pure profit thing. I mean, he obviously doesn't have the backing. But then again, you know, you got Bayern Munich and Liverpool putting huge bids in for Levi Colwill. They're not doing that for Trevoh, which is something interesting to think about, isn't it? Yeah, it's a shame. They'll probably sell him. They're probably pleased that he's doing really well at the end of the season. And look, as much as this is a really sad story in terms of him wanting to play for Chelsea, he's still a professional footballer who has played in France, who's played, you know, in other places in England. He's been loaned. He's got experience. I don't think he's ever been called up for England, has he? But, you know, he will understand that playing well at 6 months at Palace got him a chance to come back and play well at Chelsea at the high level, top 5, that will probably get him a better move on better salary, better wages to a better club that he wants. As much as the Chelsea story will be nice, he'll probably have a big boy moment, talks with his agent and family and the club, and understand this is good for everyone involved because there'll be more suitors. Remember, he wanted to go to Bayern, and they did come in for him at one point when Tuchel was there because Tuchel liked him. But Chelsea accepted an offer from Nottingham Forest. He said, no, I don't want to go there. At the time, you kind of get it. Obviously, since then, they've become quite vibes and very good. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Alrighty. Let's talk about this story then. So this is footballtransfers.com. Yeah, this is apparently an exclusive. Chelsea exploring shock move to bring back Antonio Rudiger. Now, Antonio Rudiger, of course, is a very high-profile senior centre-back that has won Champions Leagues with Chelsea, Real Madrid. He's mental. He was mental at Chelsea. Before I read this, I must say, I think he's been behaving like an absolute knobber at Real Madrid. He's really channeled his inner Pepe and Ramos, which, by the way, he cited before he likes Pepe. But he does love Chelsea. He said that recently on a podcast I was watching him, like not too long ago at all, with Harry Pinero, I think so, was speaking to him. And like, even before that, a couple of years ago when he leaves, he fell out with like Marina, I think. He obviously didn't get the contract extension. This is a previous regime. This is a different Chelsea now, you know. But he does still have a love for Chelsea. But I do think his behaviour has been, at times, pretty abhorrent. Although we maybe are missing a bit of a knobhead. So we can talk about that. Football Transfers understands that Chelsea are exploring a shock move to bring Antonio Rudiger back to Stamford Bridge. We have been told, by whom, guys? Who's telling you this? That the Blues have reached out to the defender's camp in recent days to be kept informed on Rudiger's future at Real Madrid, with early groundwork being laid for a potential summer swoop. His current estimated value is about £11 million. I guess he's got 1 year left in his deal. We'll have to check it in a bit. We'll put a pin in that. The West London Insider understood to be ready to negotiate if given the green light for a move, and that would reunite the German superstar with his former club 3 years after his painful departure on a free transfer. Losing him for free and then buying him back. Rudiger is generally happy at Real Madrid, but a change of scenery could be needed, with sources closest to the... Didn't he just have surgery as well? Close to the player, informing us that the 32-year-old has been increasingly difficult to deal with in recent months. Oh, good. Behaving like an absolute knob, and is apparently really hard to deal with. One source familiar with recent developments revealed, quote, "It's been tense. he's clashed with people in the inner circle, the Real Madrid inner circle, and it's made discussions on certain matters extremely difficult. He sounds like just in the really good place right now. Let's bring him home. Most notably, Rudiger is said to have fallen out with his brother agent, Sinesi, just before Christmas. The exact reason for the dispute is unknown, probably money, I'm going to speculate, but it became so heated that the Los Blancos star threatened to cut ties entirely. Dun, dun, dun. Family, it's tough. Why do people get their brothers and dads as agents? I'll tell you why, because it's free money for them, because they just say, hello, and you can become an agent really easily. Like, you don't have to do any study. You like do this very short course thing and fill out a form and application. Oh, I'm an agent. Now I can charge 2 million when my footballer brother goes clubs to club and just keep money in the family. That's why they bloody do it, mate, yeah? But it always causes drama. Harry Kane and his brother, Callum Hudson-Odoi and his brother, Eden Hazard and his dad, etc. Chelsea are not worried about Rudiger's personality, though. Despite the personal drama, Chelsea believe the German international remains a world-class asset. I mean, he is. He's still like that senior, like, you know... I'm not saying he's as good as Virgil van Dijk, but you have a few of these, like, senior aura defenders. And Rudiger in Europe, and Rudiger, I mean, he's won multiple Champions Leagues. And, you know, I always talk about, like, certain defenders will be up at night thinking, oh, I got to play against this striker tomorrow. And we don't have all those strikers. There's the other way around as well. So strikers or forwards will be like, oh, I've got to go up and play against him tomorrow. Rudiger is absolutely that guy. Like, you can make Van Dijk dance, and Van Dijk isn't as much as a see you next Tuesday as Rudiger can be, in a good way, I mean. So, yeah, he is a leader, a warrior, exactly what this Chelsea dressing room needs, a source said. Well, this source of Chelsea inclination? There's no fear about his personality. If anything, that fire is what we're missing. Okay, so he is from Chelsea, this geezer. And there may be cause for optimism. Rudiger previously spoke with deep affection about his time in 2022. Chelsea will always be in my heart. London will always be my home. He also spoke recently, like I said, about Chelsea quite glowingly. While Real Madrid have yet to take a firm stance, the situation could escalate quickly. In recent months, there have been talks of a potential contract extension, but in light of the players' antics in the Copa del Rey final, which you got a 6-match ban, yeah, he threw ice at the ref or tried to. The La Liga giants could reconsider their role in his team. Of course, they're also looking at Saliba and Howson of the Premier League. We find if they get Saliba from Arsenal. Yeah, also, Rudiger plays for Ancelotti. Ancelotti loves him, he signed him, he's a sort of vibes man. And we understand Ancelotti's going to Brazil national team and that Xabi Alonso is going to come in. Now, Xabi Alonso did have Jonathan Tah, so I wonder if he'd look at Rudy and be like, yeah, I have a bit of that. What do you think? Would you take Rudiger back? I think probably. Yeah, I think probably. But again, take out with Steve K. What's his name? Steve K of footballtransfers.com. Yeah. Hey guys, let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let's start up the conversation. Thank you as always for liking the video. That's nice of you. It really is. You're welcome to subscribe. And heck, you made it to the end of the video now. So why not go check out me talking about Arsenal's exit in the Champions League by going over onto Football Yannick. Yeah, that'll be fun for you and me. All right, mate. Take care. Enjoy the football. Peace.